Well, the association was established after our first national conference in 2003. It is actually a network, and we have state representatives of our association. We don't currently have paid membership. The charter, if you like, of the Australian Farmers Markets Association is to promote the sustainable development of farmers markets across Australia, and we work with community groups, farmers and also consumers who want to actually find their nearest farmers market, or indeed may have some feedback from their shopping experience in a farmers market. I won an award which was called the Geoffrey Roberts Award, which is a UK-based foundation that supports people who have interests in food, wine and also hospitality. I actually won that award in the late 90s to go to the US to look at the farmers market movement in the United States of America. I visited on that trip markets, market managers, the USDA, Department of Agriculture, talking to a whole range of people in America about how their movement was started, what the strengths were, what the weaknesses were, and then I came back to Australia and I developed a model, or extracted a model from my American experience as to what I thought would work here in Australia. And in '99 I ran my first community workshop with the community of Orange in New South Wales to talk to them about how to establish a farmers market.
So tell us about the journey over the past 10 years for farmers markets.
I'm not going to put my neck out and nominate the most successful farmers market, but I can give you some examples of some very, very good farmers markets trading in all states, and there are more than 160 in Australia at the moment and growing.
What is attracting, in your opinion, urban consumers to seek out farmers markets and go along and patronise them?
Not just urban, but obviously people in regions have some vibrant farmers markets as well. Consumers are attracted by the simple fact that they can buy fresh, seasonal food from a known source. I think that provenance is really, really important to a consumer. It's also a very socially friendly and enjoyable way to do your shopping. I mean, I often think, you know, when you shop in a supermarket, who do you talk to? When you shop, you may say something at the checkout, but these days there's auto checkout, self-checkout. You don't actually talk to anybody at all. Whereas in a farmer's market, you're not only talking to the farmers who are the vendors, you're often talking to the other shoppers as well. And it's just a very engaging and also educational way to shop for your food.
So in the coming 5 years, what do you see the trend to be in terms of both consumers and operators of farmers markets?
Growth. Not phenomenal growth, and I wouldn't want to see phenomenal growth. I don't think that would be healthy it's not healthy for anything to suddenly skyrocket. Just progressive growth, more markets, well established, authentic farmers markets like the one in Launceston, that's well planned and is very quickly being embraced by its community. So I see onward growth. I see that Victoria has an accreditation scheme for farmers markets. I would like to see that rolled out nationally, but obviously there are major hurdles in putting in any authentication scheme of any industry, least of all needing the funding to do it. And from a consumer perspective, I think that people more and more are embracing alternative ways of doing their shopping. Setting up a farmers market is not rocket science, but there are certain steps that communities or groups of farmers should take to do it. And so long as you actually go through those steps in the right order, your farmers market should actually be sustainable. But the first thing you need to do is to get a group of like-minded people together who are going to share the tasks of getting a market organised. You need to talk to your local council, you need to identify a site, and ideally that site would be an all-weather site, depending on where you're located and what the prevailing climate is. You need to get your permissions in order, that's very important. You need to obviously recruit your producers, and one of the issues facing farmers markets at the moment is that the consumer demand for markets, or the community demand, almost outstrips the availability of willing farmers and artisan value adders to supply markets, but of course that varies very much from community to community.